My teenage son woke us in the middle of the night. I woke to his voice, urgent, shaking. "Dad, get up, now, backyard." The clock read 2:47 a.m. My son's hand pressed against my shoulder, firm and trembling at the same time. His eyes, wide, hollow, like he had seen something he shouldn't, were locked on mine. My daughter stirred beside me, clutching her blanket. "Daddy, what's happening?" "No time," he hissed. He lifted her in his arms, like she weighed nothing, like he was suddenly older than his years. I followed. Pajamas clinging to my damp skin, bare feet cold against the tiles. We slipped through the back door into the night air, moonlight carving pale lines across the yard. My son guided us behind the hedges, forcing us low, urging silence. Then, we waited. The stillness of the night pressed against my ears. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might give us away. And then, the door opened. The glow of the kitchen light spilled out across the grass. A figure stepped outside. Familiar, too familiar. I froze. My son gripped my arm. His whisper burned into my ear. "Now you'll see." 2. Reveal of conflict. The figure was my wife, barefoot, dressed in the thin robe she never wore for me anymore. She wasn't alone. A man followed her out, his hand brushing the curve of her back like it belonged there. She didn't flinch. She leaned into him. I felt my daughter's small fingers dig into my sleeve. She didn't understand, but I did. Too much. Too quickly. My wife tilted her head, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in years, unguarded, alive. He whispered something. She laughed, soft, almost girlish. I wanted to believe I was dreaming, that the night had folded itself into a cruel hallucination. But my son's face, he wasn't surprised. He was waiting for me to catch up. And in that instant, I understood something far worse than betrayal. He had known. My son had been carrying this secret, protecting me, or perhaps waiting for me to wake up on my own. The man kissed her, not hurried, not guilty, the kiss of someone certain they belonged. I shut my eyes. Behind them, the world was splitting in two. The days that followed were quieter than death. She moved through the house as if nothing had happened, smiling, humming, pretending. I pretended too, but my mind had sharpened. My silence became my weapon. When her phone buzzed at the table, I memorized the number. When she whispered in the bathroom at night, I timed the length of her calls. When she slipped away under the excuse of errands, I traced the mileage on her car. Each detail was a thread. Pulled together, they wove the shape of her other life. I ordered a test kit, DNA. Not for me, for my daughter. The thought clawed at me, but the question had already rooted itself too deep. My son's eyes had told me there was more I wasn't seeing. When the envelope arrived, I kept it sealed for 2 days. I carried it in my pocket like a stone, heavy, suffocating. My fingers itched to tear it open, but part of me resisted, because once I knew, there would be no going back. Meanwhile, I observed, watched the way she lingered near the window after she thought we were asleep, watched her smile at her phone, a smile that never reached me. Watched the distance between us grow so vast it felt rehearsed. My son avoided her now, detached, cold. He looked at me sometimes with a kind of silent question, "Are you ready?" And finally, I was. The report was thin, clinical, but its weight destroyed everything. She wasn't mine. My daughter, my little girl who clung to me in the night, half of her didn't belong to me. I sat at the kitchen table, the paper between my fingers. The walls hummed with the quiet of a home that was no longer a home. When she walked in, I didn't speak. I slid the envelope across the table, watched her hesitate, saw the flicker of fear bloom in her eyes before she even touched it. Her hands shook as she opened it. Her lips parted as she read. And then, silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. I didn't ask questions, didn't rage. I only looked at her, cold, detached. Her tears came fast, desperate. She tried to speak, words about mistakes, about love, about confusion. I let them fall flat against the floor. The truth was its own weapon. I didn't need more. That night, I gathered my son and daughter. We sat in the living room, the three of us. She stood across from us, trembling, her face streaked. "I know," I said simply. My voice carried no heat, only finality. My daughter clutched my arm, confused but safe in my hold. My son stared at her, at his mother, with a hatred too old for his age. "You built this lie," I continued. "You carried it into our home, into our children, and now you'll carry it alone." Her knees buckled. She begged, promised, pleaded. I didn't move. I didn't answer. I stood, taking my children with me. My son's jaw was set, his hand steady on his sister's back. We walked past her, out the door, into the night. Behind us, the sound of her breaking filled the air, a sound I would never forget, but one I would never answer again. I didn't look back, not once. The night air was sharp, biting against my skin, but it cleared me. My son walked beside me, taller somehow. My daughter nestled in my arms, innocent still, though touched forever by the choices we hadn't made. There was no victory in this, no justice, only truth. And truth was enough. I felt the weight lift, not gently, not kindly, but with the cold precision of a knife pulled from flesh. Some wounds don't heal, they harden. And as I closed the car door, starting the engine, I knew this. Her voice would haunt me, but her power over me was gone, forever.